What's up, fam? Welcome back to Soul Light Reflections. I'm Rachel. If we haven't met before, if you haven't listened before, welcome. Today, we're diving into something that, as always, I feel like I always say this, feels really close to my heart, but especially as we are stepping into a brand new year, into 2025. Why did I say that so weird? Anyway, the power of women supporting other women. This isn't just like a nice idea or like a feel-good slogan, like good vibes only. No, this is a fucking movement, okay? And we are all in it whether we want to be or not if you're a woman. It's a reclamation of what it means to actually connect and uplift and build each other up. So maybe grab some tea, maybe light a candle, get cozy. We're about to have a deeply empowering conversation about how we can genuinely be there for each other because we all deserve that. We deserve to have powerful, beautiful, uplifting relationships with other women, to be in tribe with other women. I want that for you, and hopefully you want that for yourself. Now, let me preface all of this by saying that for most of my life, I resonated with like, oh, I'm just like a guy's girl. Like most of my friends were guys in like all my teenage years and even my early 20s. And I mean, even now I have a lot of guy friends, but I'm learning the power and the strength and the excitement and the beautiful energy of having more and more powerful women in my life to be in tribe with. And I used to be convinced that women were just out to get each other. That like, that's why I just resonated so much more with guys, because I feel like there was never drama. And I'm very grateful that I have never been the victim of real bullying or anything like that. I've kind of like kept to my own when it comes to those things. Like I've always been the girl that has friends in lots of different circles. And so I never used to get involved enough in one circle to even be around the drama or in the drama. Of course, there were like little things that would come up here and there, but I mean, that happens to all of us. The point there being, I never really allowed myself to get too involved with other women as far as friendships until very recently when I'm like, oh shit, I fucking love women. We are so cool. We're so powerful. We're so beautiful. I love you all so much. And I want to spend so much time, especially with these powerful women that keep flowing into my life that I keep meeting. And I'm like, fuck yes, girl, do your thing. Okay. So all of that to say, going into 2025, I seriously believe that we are all, as women, showing up for each other in ways that we haven't really seen for a long time. We're no longer tearing each other down. Like, we are moving on from that narrative. We're not letting society convince us that we're competition for each other, or that we have to like fit into some sort of box of like scarcity where like one woman's success is like threatening to ours. No, that narrative is tired. It's done. We're not here for it anymore. We're unsubscribing. Uncheck that box. Bye-bye. What we are here for is building our tribe. Like I said, a circle of women who uplifts us, who sees us, who celebrates us, who hears us, who dances with us, who plays with us. That's what we're here for. We're literally just coming back to our roots, to ceremony, to sacred time together. And when I say that, I am so not just talking about like movie nights or spa days. Like, okay, those are great too, don't get me wrong. But what I'm talking about is something so much fucking deeper. I'm talking about like sitting in a circle together and just talking. I'm talking about like putting hands on each other and giving each other like a head massage or a back massage or whatever you're comfortable with. I'm talking about giving long, endearing hugs and not feeling awkward about it. I'm talking about connecting with the earth, sharing our stories, creating a space where vulnerability is actually celebrated, where it's not like you're preying on someone's vulnerability and you're like, ooh, now I have that against them. It's like, no, bitch, I see you, I feel you, and I am here for you, and I resonate with that. And I'm going to tell you exactly how I resonate so that you don't feel alone. That's what I'm here for. And not that I like wasn't there for that before, I just didn't fully understand what that meant. Honestly, until I hosted my first retreat back in, when was that? 2022? I really didn't fully understand how important it was to get women together in tribe, in actual like physical closeness, in the same exact space to create that type of energy. I never fully understood the power of that or why it's so important. So I want you to like imagine this, okay? Imagine like retreats and workshops and events where we've put our phones away, like we're fully present And we're not distracted by like notifications, but we're actually immersed in that like genuine connection with each other. We're holding space for each other, not just mentally or emotionally, but physically as well. We're sharing wisdom. We're remembering how cool it is when we all come together, when we all celebrate each other. And I like to think about how our ancestors used to gather, right? They had rituals, they had ceremonies, they deeply, deeply honored the cycles of the moon, the seasons, and of each other. You may or may not be familiar with this concept of the red tent. During biblical times, there was this concept of the red tent where women would be in their menstrual cycles together. And so all the women would gather in one tent and be there with each other, for each other. And, when a baby was born, there was these beautiful blessing ways where we would bless the mother and bless the child before they came out of the womb. That's where the concept of baby showers came from. And now it's just all about giving, shitty gifts. Maybe not shitty. Okay, that was not nice of me to say, but you know what I'm saying? We have blown it out of proportion and turned it into something that it wasn't actually meant to be. It was supposed to be about the mama and child and not just about like gifts and cake and games. And it's just that there was such a sense of interdependence and community. And I just feel like we're being called to return to that. And we're doing it in a way that actually works with us now. So like there's a modern take on it, I guess you could say. And we're blending in, like weaving in that ancient wisdom through that like modern life that we are in right now. Obviously, it's not going to look like we're all like bleeding at the same time in a red tent, okay? It's going to look different. But that doesn't mean that it's any less beautiful. That doesn't mean that it's any less profound and cathartic and healing. So I would love to have you take inventory of the friendships that you have right now. I know that this can feel really uncomfortable, but I promise you it's going to be really worth it. Think about the women in your life. How do the women in your life make you feel? Do you leave these like hangouts, these interactions, these events feeling energized and uplifted, or do you feel like drained? Do you feel insecure? And it's really important when you're asking yourself these questions, obviously, to be honest with yourself. Like, this is your chance to get real. This is where you get to recognize what is working for me and what is not. And you might, in doing this introspection, realize that there are certain relationships, certain friendships that are not serving you, and that's okay. It doesn't mean that those people are bad or like that you're a bad person or whatever, that these relationships are bad. Like, no, relationships have seasons. Friendships have seasons. It's really important to let them go when their time has run out. And it can be really hard, but in the end, it's actually just creating space for connections that really nourish your soul and lift you up. And believe me, I'm living proof through my own experience, especially this year, that when you do let go of those other connections, not even just with women, but with people in general, the right people for this season of your life, for this part of your path will show up. Like I said at the beginning of this episode, the people that are flowing into my life now, the clients that are flowing into life, the friends that are flowing into my life are just like mind-blowingly just beautiful in every way. And I'm so excited to have relationships with them. And I recognize that they might not be in my life forever. This might just be the season of life that they're in here for, and I am so grateful for it. And I'm also grateful for experiences earlier this year that showed me the type of person that certain people that I considered close were, and like their true colors, I guess you could say. Not that they're bad, not that there's anything wrong. It's just like, hey, they're not meant for this season of my life. And that's actually a beautiful thing because it allowed these new people to flow into my life. And like I talked about in the very first episode I ever recorded of Soulmate Reflections, it's about creating boundaries, and it doesn't mean you have to cut them out. It just means you create space and capacity in yourself for newer and more empowering relationships to form in your life. It's kind of like when you want to get some new clothes and you need to like clear out some space in your closet for that to happen. You know, I love a metaphor. That just came to me. So I love leaving you with tangible tips. So I want you to reflect for a moment. And if you have a journal nearby or maybe like your phone, you can just type in notes in your phone. I want you to reflect. How are you approaching relationships with the women in your life? Are you seeing those other women as competition, or are you seeing them as maybe friends, collaborators, allies? Like, really important to ask yourself that. And it's okay if the answer isn't actually what you want it to be yet. It's about building awareness. And by having awareness, then we can start with the growth. It's not about judging yourself. You might literally be like, yeah, actually these like couple of women that I thought were close, like I actually am really jealous of them. Or I'm like actually kind of judging them all the time. Or I kind of talk shit about them behind their back. Be honest with yourself. You're just talking to yourself, right? No one has to find out about these like inner thoughts if you don't want them to. And if you do decide to talk to someone or maybe a therapist or whoever about it, or a coach, like me, then you know. And I always say you don't know until you know, and then you can't unknow. And having that awareness is the first step to building more positive relationships, building more positive perspectives within yourself about other women and about the friendships and relationships in your life. And then another thing that I want you to think about is, how do you want to show up in your friendships with women? So maybe, like I said, the answer to the other question, like, wasn't really what you wanted it to be. You're like, I'm not really approaching relationships with women in the right way. Don't judge yourself. Don't feel shame. Don't feel guilt, because those are low ass vibrations. We do not need to tap into that. Don't, because it's actually a really good thing. You're tapping into a higher vibration by recognizing, by taking accountability and building awareness around this within yourself. So actually celebrate that, okay? And then be honest, how do I want to show up in these friendships with women? And then another thing to reflect on is, what qualities or actions do you value most in a friend? Someone close in your life, what do they need to have in order for you to feel like they're able to show up for you in the way that you need? And then on the flip side, are there ways that you could embody those qualities more yourself? Because a lot of times when we're looking for certain things in other people, it's because we don't feel like we have it within ourselves. So how can you show up better? Because when I show up better, you show up better. When you show up better, the people in your life show up better. When they show up better, the people in their life show up better. It is such a ripple effect. It is so fucking beautiful. And then we all start sparkling. Okay, that's what we want. We just want like a sparkly, bright world. And I'm here for it, okay? When I show up and I record a podcast episode like this and I give you these reflection points, you are then able to build awareness. And even if all you did today was go over these reflection points in your brain, you didn't even write it down, that's something. That's a step in the right direction to creating more positive friendships with women in your life. Okay? So celebrate that in yourself. So it's really important to think on both sides. On the side of, what do I need to give in a relationship and what do I want to give in a relationship? And also, what do I need to receive in a relationship? And then reflect on like, wait, how would it actually feel in my inner being to have friendships where I feel so supported, I feel so seen, I feel so loved, I feel so held, I feel like I can completely be myself, I feel like I can let loose and no one's gonna judge me, I feel like I can say what's on my mind and it's not gonna be taken the wrong way. That's the kind of friendships we're here for. That's what it means to have your tribe. I want that for you. We all want that for each other, right? So as we're stepping into 2025, I want to invite you to dream really big about the kind of connections that you want to create. It's almost like when you're looking for a partner and you can like write down all of the traits and characteristics that you want in a partner. Do this about your friends. Imagine what it would feel like to have that tribe of women who uplift you, who challenge you to grow, who celebrate your wins like as if they're their own wins. Let's be intentional about how we're showing up for each other, how we hold space, and how we rewrite this story of what it means, this narrative, what it means to be friends with other women. True empowerment. Women empower other women. I am so grateful that you spent this time with me. I hope that this episode inspires you to take a really deep look at your friendships and start to create the kind of connections that actually light you up. It's honestly the biggest red flag when having a conversation with someone or spending time with someone or spending an evening with someone, you walk away drained. You're like, oh my God, that was hard. I don't care if you're an introvert or extrovert. Like, there's a difference between walking away and just feeling drained from someone and walking away like, okay, I'm a little tired because I'm an introvert, right? There's a difference there. Anyway, if this resonated with you, I would love to hear your thoughts. Of course, you're always welcome to reach out. Please share this episode with a friend. Let's keep this conversation going. And until next time, I'm always sending you so much love and light and blessings. Let's build our tribes, babe. I would love to meet you in person at my next retreat, at my next event. Reach out, get on my email list. You will have all of the information that you need to stay connected. Reach out on social media. I would love to hear from you. And until next time, keep shining, keep aligning, and we will talk next time.